Welcome. In this section, we're going to create a list, another list, and show you how to actually use data. So it's going to be something like this. And instantly you have this binding with AngularJS. It's called a double-A binding. And let's get back to our editor and start coding. So we're done for now with the index file. You're going to have create open and your controller. So if you're using Sublime, I like to, this is a helpful view, have two rows from the menu, layout and two rows. That way you can see both files at the same time. So that's what we're going to be working here. And as you recall, in the config, I'm including main controller in this create.html file. Otherwise, you'd have to use this controller directive inside your HTML tags. So for this section, I want you to add some more data here in the HTML. We're gonna do a list ul li close the list, add the form. Just gonna name this quiz form, and the no validate. This is a property for HTML5, and we just added. You don't need it for AngularJS, but it adds consistency across browsers, so they behave, because some browsers have that built-in validation with HTML5. So that's there. And we're gonna add two inputs. Input type text, and here required. That's another thing from HTML5. Just copy that over. Close your form. And actually, yep, that's all you need for now. So go to your controller now, and let's create. This time we're going to create an object. So instead of this, we'll do quiz, and it's going to be arrays. So we have an array of 3 numbers. I'm going to add that onto the scope. So if you want to see these numbers show up in a list, we can do another directive called ngRepeat, and it's called the quiz, but we want to do like a for in loop. So for AngularJS standards, it's name a variable, could be anything, but like q and quiz, and inside here just do q. See if that works. So go to create, and let's see what the problem is. So you should see this show up, and it's looping through the array ngRepeat, q and quiz, like the for loop, and you see 1, 2, 3. So these are the list items. If you inspect the HTML, this is what you'll see. And I'll leave this open for now to explain anything else that might be useful. So this can be an array or an array of objects. Like in our situation, we're going to have questions and answers. So we'll just do like Q is for question, be a string of are you ready? And the answer will be A as a property name, but yes. So you save that. Does it show up? Are you ready? Yes. So it's showing the whole thing because we didn't specify the property. If we do this, QA, and then something like this, Q, wait, that should be Q for question and QA for answer. We refresh, there we go. Are you ready? Yes. So now it shows this and this. So let's get our inputs to work. This time we're going to use a different directive called ngModel. So ngModel equals, and then you can call this whatever you want. For example, we'll have form question. And this one, ngModel, form answer. So you save that and say you want to display it. Save it, reload. So what you're seeing here is the double two-way data binding by AngularJS. You have this input, and this is the second one. We don't have a output for the second one, but if we do this, form answer, we can see AngularJS doing its magic. Let's refresh, ABC from this one, and this is the second one. So that's two-way data, two-way data binding. So we don't need that right now, but what we do need is to have this object to be dynamic, to work with our input. So for us to have it work with our input, we're going to do a new function and call it scope. We'll add it to the scope, and add item is the name of the function. It's going to take two variables as parameters, question and answer. And scope dot quiz. So it's taking this object, what we have from here, and we're going to push onto the array new data. And that data is what's coming from here. So what we have to call it is another object. It's going to be Q, so it's the same format as we have it here. Q, except the data is being passed from the ngModel, and call it Q form question, so it has to match the ngModel here. So that's the first part, comma, second part, scope dot form answer, and save it. And let's see. Oh, before it works, we're gonna add a new directive, and that directive is called. Actually, let's create a button on here. Button class. This is just a class from our design. Click. This is ngClick. That's a directive that is from AngularJS, and it's not like the onClick directive from JavaScript. It's something different. We'll call this button add, and this has to match the function name. So since we are using the main controller and it's applied to this HTML, you don't need anything else besides calling it add item, and then pass it the two arguments. So it's going to pass form question, form answer. Let's see if that works. Refresh. We have our button here. do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, add. There you go. So now it added a new list item. If you look at the source code, you'll see you have the 2 list items. So we don't need this anymore, we can erase it.